Let's get this straight. Ty Simpson is not a better prospect than Fernando Mendoza. However, the gap between them is a heck of a lot closer than people think, and right now that is a super hot topic of discussion, thanks to, of course, Dan Orlovsky.
I think Ty Simpson is QB1. I think Ty Simpson is the best quarterback in this class.
The main argument is that Simpson's game better translates to the next level. He played in a true drop-back passing system at Alabama that asked him to make harder, more NFL-style throws, often getting to his second, third, and fourth reads while having to navigate the pocket. Simpson was never afraid to attack the middle of the field in tight windows, and he certainly has the arm strength to do it. This past season, he made 30 big-time throws to Mendoza's 23, and if it weren't for dealing with 30 drops, which was tied for third most in the nation, he could have had way more. For reference, Mendoza dealt with just 6 drops. So here are 2 of my favorite throws from Simpson, the first of which totally encapsulates both his and Alabama's season. The first play I'll break down is against Georgia, which, in my opinion, was Simpson's most impressive game this season, and honestly, the most impressive game that I saw on tape from any quarterback in 2025. Georgia is in what appears to be cover 3 pre-snap, so Alabama is running a dagger concept, very common in the NFL, where they're going to use Ryan Williams' seam route to run off the post safety and open up the deep dig underneath. But post-snap, Georgia rolled to cover 2, which takes away the dig and leaves the seam route wide open, splitting the 2 safeties. Simpson is very quick to recognize this and throws a perfect ball downfield to Williams, who unfortunately and unsurprisingly drops it. There were so many throws on tape where he just got screwed by his wide receivers and their drop issues. This was absolutely one of them. The next play I'll break down is against LSU, and Alabama is running a smash concept designed to beat cover or Tampa 2, which is what the Tigers are running. But Mansour Delane, who is acting as the boundary corner, plays this perfectly and takes away the corner route from underneath, which is acting as a high-low with the running back to the flat. This is why Delane will likely be a top 10 pick. But to the backside, Simpson has another seam route from his number 2 wide receiver to the field. He uses his eyes to manipulate the boundary safety, who plays over the top of the corner route from Jeremy Bernard, allowing the seam route to split the safeties once again. And Simpson throws a perfect deep ball right on the money for a huge chunk gain. Watching from the end zone angle, you can see him progress through his first 2 reads while navigating the pocket and stepping up into the throw to his third read. These are the kinds of plays that quarterbacks are expected to make at the next level. And trust me, they're not easy, but Simpson oftentimes made them look that way during his senior season. Simpson also demonstrated an ability to throw from under center, while having the autonomy to change the play and or protection at the line of scrimmage, something both quarterbacks will definitely be asked to do as NFLers. What's most impressive is that Simpson was doing this in his first handful of college starts. He only has 15 games of starting experience under his belt, which, yes, makes him a risky investment, but on the flip side, maybe he hasn't yet reached his ceiling. Now, the inexperience does come into fruition at times. He is more volatile than Mendoza when it comes to putting the ball in harm's way. Here, the Tide are facing cover 3 from LSU, and instead of throwing to his number 1, who is running a hitch route in the vacant curl flat zone, he forces a ball to his tight end over the middle of the field, where he nearly gets killed by the Tigers' single high safety. So, to make a long story short, he's talented and was asked to do more NFL things, but is much less polished than Mendoza. And as I transition to talking about the likely number 1 overall pick, I want to cover his impressive resume, which should definitely not be ignored. Mendoza is a Heisman Trophy winner who just led a historically bad football program to a 16-0 record and national championship. He led the nation with 41 passing touchdowns and completed 71.5% of his passes. If there's a knock, it's that Mendoza benefited from a quarterback-friendly system that featured a ton of first read throws and RPOs. Take this opening drive against Oregon as an example. He gets to the top of his drop and throws to a wide open receiver on every pass without really having to scan the field post-snap. Maybe we should be looking at this as he's smart enough to understand where the defense should be attacked before every snap, making things look easier thanks to his preparation and intuition, but these kinds of easy plays / reads were littered throughout his tape. Here, he just needs to read the linebacker from Illinois to decide whether to throw the slant route to Omar Cooper Jr. or hand the ball to his running back. Of course, the linebacker blitzes, so Mendoza pulls it and slings it to Cooper, who makes numerous defenders miss and scampers for a huge gain. Believe me, it will not be this easy in the NFL, especially playing for the Raiders. At Indiana, he played for a genius offensive coach in Curt Cignetti, so it's true that Simpson had more on his plate at Alabama. But to ignore the other great traits in Mendoza's game just because his supporting cast and coaching staff were stronger would be an injustice. My favorite part of Mendoza's game is easily his toughness, and that will absolutely come into play. How are you going to respond after being killed by Myles Garrett in the first quarter of a December football game? The other part of Mendoza's game that impressed me was his ball placement, which brings me back to this play from the Oregon drive. Nobody in college, and I mean nobody, throws a better back shoulder football than Mendoza, which is absolutely an NFL throw. He's got underrated arm talent, which was on full display not only this season at Indiana, but during his time at California. I do think it's impressive that he changed offensive systems with no signs of rust. I mean, he walked right into Indiana and dominated from week one, which to me is a testament to his high football IQ and adaptability. Last but not least, Mendoza took better care of the football than Simpson did in 2025. His 2.6% turnover-worthy play rate tops 3% from Simpson, who lost 5 fumbles in 5 games to end the season, and we all know that he struggled down the stretch as a whole. To put a bow on this story, Mendoza is worthy of being the number 1 pick, and as the more consistent, polished quarterback with A+ size, he's a better prospect than Simpson. But the latter shouldn't be ignored, and the flashes he showed in his limited number of college starts means that he's got potential, and in the right spot, where Simpson can sit behind an experienced quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, if he chooses to return to Pittsburgh, he can become a viable starter in the NFL.